Well, hi, all my LGBT friends and others. We're going to continue, of course, reading in Deuteronomy today, chapter 28. I just would encourage you all who are going to vote to definitely double check your, try first of all, get a paper ballot. But if you want to use the machine, double check your votes because Monahan, I think that's his name, is a governor of some state. He went to go, cast an early vote, and he voted for himself. But when he double checked his votes, the vote went for somebody else, his opponent. So good thing he checked, right? And they were saying, oh, it's the calibration or something. No, Donald Trump is right. Again, the votes are rigged, okay? The machines are rigged. They're owned by George Soros and all of the states that, the Democrats need, whatever states those are. I don't have them memorized. So yeah. And then I see a video last night of women, all women, okay, in every Democrat voting booth area, stuffing the ballots, literally, with fake names and addresses, only God knows, going to the ballots and saying, oh, I gotta be careful that they don't see me, stuffing the ballots, people standing in front of the ballots and somebody coming behind and stuffing the ballots, another woman going and taking a whole ream of paper and stuffing the ballots, and other women coming to help her stuff the ballots. Unbelievable video on, camera in these, voting booth places, and right in front of people, they're stuffing the ballots. So, our system is not perfect when it comes to, we have the most historical, really, the most, in my lifetime, historical vote that needs to be done. And if really, literally, if we vote one way, we're going to go globalism. If we vote another way, we're going to go nationalism. So, if you're a Christian and you believe in God, you want to go nationalism. Don't take my word for it, just read the Bible, and you'll see that what I'm saying is right. And, this is just one of the very few problems around the world. You've got people dying in Aleppo. They don't even know where they're going to bury them, okay? It's so sick what they've been allowed to do. But because God does hold the world in his hand, and he is ultimately in control, every president that has been allowed to be president by God, no matter what little plan they think they've hatched, God has used them for his glory, okay? And if you look at Israel, always look at Israel, what each president did or didn't do and how it affected Israel, that's your meter, that's your barometer, that's your measurement to know where we're at in Bible prophecy. And that's what I've looked at. I've looked at what Reagan did for them, with the tearing down the wall, letting in Jews from Russia come into Israel, what the Bushes did, even Obama, getting out of Iraq too soon caused all of the things that you've witnessed if you've been paying attention. How does it affect Israel? All right. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Yeah. Okay. So we'll read in chapter 28. Now, this has to do with the blessing for obedience and the curses for disobedience. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and do all of his commandments, which I command thee this day, and the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all of these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shall thou be in the city, and blessed shall thou be in the field. Blessed shall the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of the cattle increase by thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall thou be when thou comest in, and blessed thou shalt be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. The Lord shall establish thee a holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. All the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, fruit of the body, fruit of the cattle, and fruit of the ground, the land which the Lord swore upon thy fathers to give thee. The Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give the rain, the land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if thou shalt hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day to observe and to do them. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all of his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Cursed shall thou be in the city, cursed shall thou be in the field, cursed shall thy basket and thy store, cursed shall be the fruit of the body, fruit of the land increased of the kind, and the flocks and thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed when thou shalt be goest out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke. God, can't talk today. And rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do, until thou be destroyed, and thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he have consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. I wonder what that fly was doing on Hillary's face. And Obama's. Oh, sorry. I digress. Okay. The Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Wow. And the heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust, and from heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shalt be removed unto all the kingdoms of the earth. And thy carcass shall be meat unto all the fowl of the air, and the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. And the Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, with the emerods, with the scab, with the itch, where thou canst be healed. And the Lord shall smite thee with madness, blindness, and astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at the noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt not have none to rescue them. Thy sons, thy daughters shall be given unto other people. Thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. The fruit of thy hand, and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. Thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed alway, so that thou shalt be mad from the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. The Lord shall bring thee and the king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and where thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. Thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and thou shalt gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them. Thou shalt neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout the coasts, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for thine olive shall cast his fruit. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters. Thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. All of the trees, the fruit of the land, shall the locust consume. The stranger that is written thee shall get up and above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all of these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee and overtake thee, until thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest unto the voice of the Lord. Thou did not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statute which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And you shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. I have to stop here at verse 49. I will continue it later on. All right, thank you so much for listening. Do a thumbs up, share, and like. Okay, bye-bye.